Hello, boys and girls. Today I want to talk to you about an old item. Some of you may have owned, traded off, jumped ship for the big new stuff, or needed to. You know, if you're a working pro and you need to stay with the latest and greatest, do stuff for billboards and all that fancy stuff, you might need the latest and greatest Nikons. But there's still a camera out there that's still in my bag. And this is the Nikon D300. I still have mine. Still use it a lot. Very good camera. Got very good reviews back in the day. 12 megapixel. 6 frames a second. Built-in flash if you need it. Very, very good cameras. And right now, you can get yourself a D300 from $190 all the way up to $468, depending. KEH usually has them sold out right now. You can find them on Amazon here. $190 again, up to $468. I mean, they get amazing reviews. They've always gotten good reviews. I mean, it's a Nikon. I was thinking of getting a Nikon D500, and I probably will. I used to shoot a lot of sports, a lot of models, a lot of various things back in the day, and I kind of got out of it for a while, but getting back into it this year for 17. And, you know, I pull out the bag there, and there's that D300 sitting there, and throw a good glass on it, a good 85, good 35, or even the 18 to 55 for now. That's what I have left in the gear bag. But, I mean, these are current pictures. This is Gettysburg I went to the other day. And, I mean, there's nothing wrong with these Nikon D300s. You know, it's not always the camera. You know, set your lighting, get your focus right, get it right in camera as much as you can. I mean, you know, old D300 still looks like it does a good job to me. And had some weird lighting conditions there. It was bright, then it was dim, then it was overcast. It was one of them days where the clouds and the gloom were floating across. So there was some tricky lighting, shot raw, so we were able to, you know, adjust our lighting in post, bring some things back in. But as you can see, there's nothing wrong with this D300 still. You know, these were shot in 2017. Just because it's a 12 megapixel camera, you know, you can still do a lot of amazing things with it, and still have a good time taking pictures. So yeah, in my opinion, the Nikon D300 is still a fabulous camera, even today in 2017. And you know, to get you a little bit above the entry level, if you want to do sports, shooting, you know, your children's sports events or anything like that, this will definitely handle it. Get yourself some good glass on there, like a 70 to 200, or they even have the new 2 to 500. One nice thing about the D300 is it has the screw drive. Okay, still has a screw drive right here. That's a big deal on a lot of lenses. That screw drive will help it autofocus on a lot more. The DX sensor, so whatever lens you put on, times it by 1.5 times crop factor. But yeah, I mean, I started with the D50, went to a D80, D90, and got a second D90. We were doing a lot of sports shooting at the time, and then I went up to the D300, 300S. Didn't care for it. I mean, I'm not really a person that used them for too much video. And then I went to a full frame, the 700, and kept that for a while. And I kind of got out of it for a couple of years and got back into it. And I had the D300, and I just, to this day, I love it. It does everything you need it to do. The pictures are sharp. They're clear. Of course, that's the lens, but I mean, what I'm getting at is there's nothing wrong with that sensor. You can see the flag here I focused on. I could have went a little lower depth of field, but I didn't have the proper lens on at that moment. And very still happy with the D300. So if you could find them, online, and you're interested in a little better than a stock $500 camera these days, you want something that's going to be able to do sporting events a little better. You're not going to get the 24 megapixel, but honestly, if you're not printing big, if you're just doing like 8x10s or 4x6s, a lot of times somebody do a sporting event or an outdoor event, they just pop the card out, take it to the local Rite Aid or whatever, for basic family type events. I'm not talking pro photos, I'm talking family stuff. And, they take it down to their local CVS or Rite Aid, and they have the pictures developed, and they come out beautiful in a 4x6 or an 8x10 print. I mean, the pictures are just incredible. But, this is just some samples from Gettysburg. As you can see, we're in gloomy lighting, we had some sun, we had some overcast, but I keep it around ISO 800, and that's where I keep it. That's an older camera, don't forget, it's not going to have all the fancy high ISO capabilities we do today. But if you're looking for a camera just on a budget, just to get out there for under $500, a camera and memory card and a cheap lens under $500, and you're going to get a better than entry-level camera, so to speak, with more frames per second, and it's going to be compatible with a lot more of the lenses. The D300 is definitely a good choice. So that's my overview on is a D300 still worth it in 2017. Yep, I'm gonna say yes. The D300 is definitely still worth it in 2017. You can still get a grip for it. Right here is a picture with the D300 with the grip, battery grip. That'll give you a little more frames a second. But even stock, the D300 it's a nice camera. I don't have too many bad things to say about it. Actually, it's all good. So again, if you guys were questioning on is a D300 still worth it, yes, they still take pictures. Things in life don't change, so if you were taking a picture in 2007 or 2008 and this was technology that you guys were using, a lot of newspaper guys are still using something like this. 12 megapixel, quick picture, quick shot, bang, a little off-camera flash or on-camera flash, and they're golden, and they can pick them up for a couple bucks. They're workhorses. They're not the D3. They're not going to be the D3 or the D4 or the D5 because they're not in that level of an arena. But they were kind of like between the D90 and the D3. They were the go-between at the time. I've taken many sports pictures with this thing. I've taken football, soccer, motocross. I mean, you name it, we've shot it. And never had an issue with it. It hasn't gone down. Always been reliable for me. No automatic mode, PASM. If you really don't know what you're doing, yeah, you can throw it in P mode. I like to shoot in full manual mode. And, if you guys learn to get it right in camera, with P mode, you kind of could adjust your settings a little bit. But, I mean, if you're going to start out shooting P mode and learn what the camera's doing, and then you want to go to S mode for moving subjects and A mode for still subjects to adjust your shutter speed and or aperture. And then over time you get to the point where you'll be in full manual mode and you'll be watching the meter on the screen and your histogram, and you'll be seeing what you need to adjust up and down. And You know, you could higher the ISO to get a faster shutter speed, or, you know, lower the aperture. You know, there's different things you can do. But again, my advice is, if you can find a D300 used, even a D90, an old D80, D50, if you just want to get into it, a lot of these older cameras are still good today. They have the screw drive, which is a good thing. They have the screw drive in there, and this little item here is going to let you utilize a lot of the older lenses, this little screw drive right here, and get a lot more lenses out of it. Rugged cameras, they're sturdy, and they'll hold up well for you. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe.